Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Ulyain village, specifically birthday. So on this particular day, the player characters get to see an Ulyain village birthday. So Sawa and Ifron is the father, and Sawa is the mother. They have a child, okay? And because of this, the player characters get to see how the Ulyain people celebrate a birthday, okay? So one, they realize that the Ulyain people don't actually celebrate birthdays the way normal cultures do, where they celebrate that day annually. The birthday is celebrated as an entire village, and it is the birth of a child to the village. So so what happens is everyone in the entire village gifts the people all of the people in that family in sequence until every single person in the village has given that family something, okay? Now, basically, when they do this, it takes a lot of orchestration from the villagers themselves, okay? So one of the things that the player characters notice is, one, that family doesn't work for like the next week. They don't get any, they don't get any water. They don't help with any of the meals. It's all just for them, for that family, it becomes them spending time with for the brothers and the sisters, it's them spending time with their new baby. In this case, it's a baby daughter. So there's two brothers and one daughter in Sawa and Ifron's family, and so the brothers and the sisters, they just spend their entire days, close to the baby, making sounds and cooing at it. The mother and the father, same thing, like all of their regular duties for the village are taken away at minimum for the first week, and actually this actually extends out a full month, right? Where the first week the family does nothing, and then the next 3 weeks that family can start to pitch in as they wish, right? And the mother is the last to rejoin any of the duties of the village. And the villagers are absolutely thrilled to have a new child. So one of the things that the player characters realize is that the villagers all see the child as a blessing to them, as a village as a whole, and that and so one of the things they do is they immediately begin gifting everyone in the family. So one of the men of the village comes forward, and he gives a drinking cup to that has been etched with a stone. So it's just a wooden drinking cup, and he's used a stone to kind of hollow it out, and then he's etched all these really unique designs on this drinking cup. And so he gives this to the father, right? And then next, one of the ladies will be aware of who in the family, the next villager needs to talk to the last person who gifted and say, oh, who did you gift? And then they go through the entire family, villager by villager, each villager checking who was the last person in the family to receive a gift. And they go through them one at a time. So they gift the father, the mother, and then each sibling. And so by the time they're done, right, because there's like 200, because there's essentially like 200-300 people in the village, they'll all have all these items, right? So one of the things they'll do is sometimes so the items can be anything. They could be as small as just a compliment, right, or a song, or they could be a drinking bowl. They could be a favorite stone that was near, that has a really unusual look, that was found near the river, excuse me. And then all different kinds of ways that the villagers think of to gift everyone in the village. Now, they don't have a whole lot. They live very simply, right? And the other thing is sometimes, it'll be a promise of, I'm going to do your chores for the next 3 months, like we'll gather your water for the next 3 months. So there's a lot of range on what's given to them, right? And then the other thing they realize is that the villagers do not give their children names. The parents of the child does not give the children names. Matron Arlel gives the child a name, right? So from a decision point, what the player characters will need to decide is what is the gift that they give to the family, right? And it might be really unusual because when they come up in the rankings, and they will come up, the villagers will like turn to them and and expect them to give a gift. Now, again, that gift can be as little as a kind word all the way up to like your favorite cloak, right? Which for the villagers, that's a big deal. Actually, well-made clothes is a really big deal for them. You know, boots and all those kind of things, right? Quarterstaff, you know, since they do use quarterstaffs, well-made quarterstaffs are kind of are another gift that they might give. But the player characters, they have gold, they have magic items, they have gold, they have weapons, right? Now remember, the villagers, they do get gold every now and then, and they only have one sword, one axe, and one bow in the entire village, right? So so it's clear to the player characters that every month they get gold, and they choose not to buy weapons with it, right? So and so basically that's a really big deal, right? One of the things that that the player characters are shocked to find as a gift is there is one weapon given to the father Ifron. It's given from one villager to another, and what it is it's a wooden dagger, right? And what that wooden dagger is, it's actually the broke off tip with a hilt that has been made for it of a bark rager. Okay, and by the way, you can get all the stats for Bark Rager. That is up on nerdarchy.com. So if you're not sure what a Bark Rager is, I did an entire video on it, and you can actually see all the stats for the Bark Rager on nerdarchy.com. And so that's the only weapon that is given out. But so the player characters will then need to gift them, and they may decide to give like a magical weapon, right, or whatever they want to do, and and that may prompt different interactions from the villagers, but the player characters will be surprised to find that the Ulyain people do not actually celebrate birthdays annually the way most people do. They only celebrate in this really unique and different way, and the player characters, each player character. That's another thing. What do they do if they get one of the siblings? Like what do they do if they get the 6-year-old daughter? What is the gift they'll give then? So it can be kind of fun, and it's just a way for you to kind of illustrate the Ulyain village and how the Ulyain people are different. Thank you.